Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. Today I'm doing another turntable review. This time I'm checking out a new turntable from a newer company. This is the Savage the One turntable from Stone. There's a bunch of links down below. You got links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music playlist that I put together every week, and the Patreon page. So make sure you check all that out. Like always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. So I'm always interested in checking out new products, and I was contacted by Stone last week, and they asked me to do a review of their turntable, this new Savage the One turntable. It's a company I've never heard of before, a little bit of a different design than I've seen from a lot of turntables out there. And the other thing that kind of interested me about this turntable is that it's an all-in-one. So it's got built-in speakers on it. So the issue I always have with these is how is the overall sound of these turntables? Because a lot of times the speakers don't sound great. The speakers can also cause some vibration in the tone arm and kind of affect the overall sound quality of them. So, a lot of these have been kind of hit or miss. The last couple of all-in-ones I reviewed, I've actually been pretty impressed with. So I'm interested in check this one out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox this thing. I'm going to put it all together. I'll do my speed test, all the normal tests I do on these turntables. I'll play an album, of course, because of copyright restrictions. I can't play it on the channel here, but I'll play an album, I'll play a couple of albums, and kind of give you my idea, my thoughts on this turntable, and on what I think the sound quality is on them, and whether or not I think it's worth the almost $300 price tag that these things go for. I will drop a link down below if you want to check out this turntable. And like always, anything I review on this channel, the opinion is always mine and mine alone. So before I crack in this, we'll go over some of the stuff on the outside of this box. So this is a belt drive layered turntable with built-in speakers. So it's a little bit different than a normal all-in-one turntable. So you've got the bottom section, which has your speakers in it. And then it's two separate pieces. The plinth is the top piece here. So you almost have it acts almost like a shock absorber between the two pieces here. So like I said, it's a little bit different than other all-in-one turntables. So stereo turntable, 2+2+2 independent unit, supports wireless speaker function. It's got 33 1/3 and 45 RPM on there. Flip it over to the side here where it says specifications. This is basically just your model, power supply, turntable speed, all the normal stuff. And they do offer 7-day refund guarantee, a 48-month full warranty, so that's good, and then 24-hour customer service. So one thing I always say is always be careful when you're cutting into boxes. You never know how it's stacked in there, or what's laid on top of the packaging inside. All right, so that's a pretty smart way to package this. So they actually put a piece of cardboard across the top, so there's nothing to really cut into. And the one thing I always say also is when you're unboxing a turntable, always be careful that a lot of times there's stuff packaged inside the shipping styrofoam inside these. Alright, so inside here you've got your 45 adapter, you've got your belt, and then this is kind of a cool thing. So this turntable has a pitch adjustment on here. If you never adjusted pitch on a turntable, know that you can't use a metal tipped screwdriver. So that's kind of cool that they include a ceramic tipped screwdriver you can use to adjust the pitch on the turntable. So that's kind of cool. That's something I'll not only use on this turntable but on other turntables also. So I'll set that aside here. And this is the other thing that's different about this turntable. It doesn't have a traditional dust cover to it. It has this plastic cover, which we'll get to once we get this turntable all put together. I'll show you what this thing looks like. So I get all the plastic here, you can kind of see it. So it's just a semi-translucent plastic cover that's going to go over top of the turntable. And this is kind of a neat little feature here too. It's got your instructions printed almost like a platter mat. So that's kind of cool. It's little things like that I like to see on some of these newer turntables. Another thing I noticed right away is this feels like a steel platter, and this thing is heavy. There's definitely some weight to this platter. If I'll open this thing up, I'll show you. I've dealt with a lot of turntables that have these kind of metal platters to them. my first question was always, if you were going to get any kind of vibration from that. But this is heavy. This is definitely heavy enough to where you're not going to get, it's going to dampen any kind of vibration that's going to come into it. And, it's good. I think you're going to get a good, solid, consistent speed out of something that's nice and heavy like this. And this is why I always say to make sure you go through and double check and make sure you've gotten everything out of the styrofoam and out of the packaging, because you don't want to throw away stuff like this. Like this is the adjustable counterweight that comes along with it. Here's your power supply. And then this is kind of cool. What is this? And this is cool. This is a wooden stand. What you can do is this is for the dust cover to set in, to rest in, and also you can rest an album in there while you're playing it. That's kind of a cool added bonus. You can buy these off of Amazon for like 10 or $15. They're not a lot, but that's kind of cool that they include something like that with the turntable. Now I flip this over, you can see it's got instructions written on the back side of it. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, nice little added bonus that they toss in with this turntable. So one thing I can say so far is I haven't listened to this yet. We haven't got it fully unpackaged yet, but I'm already impressed by the way they packaged this turntable. The material they use to package it, like I said, it comes with that little stand. Most turntables, almost every turntable I've seen, comes wrapped in plastic, and this is a nice like cloth bag that they package the turntable in, so it'll protect it a little bit better, I think, than a lot of those plastic bags will. Alright, so now that I got it all unwrapped, I'll show you that. So what I always do is I always check this sub platter here. Make sure that it's got a nice spin to it. It's not going to bind up. And whenever I put the belt on, I always want to give it, 10 or 15 spins or so, just to make sure it's all seated properly on the turntable there, on the sub platter. So I'll show you real quick what I was talking about. So it has these spacers on the side here. So make sure you want to pull these out. And like I said, this acts like a shock absorber. You can see it kind of moves independently there. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, it's a different kind of design that I haven't seen from an all-in-one turntable like this before. All right, before I finish putting this thing together, we'll go over some of the parts. So I'm going to take this front grille off and show you the speakers. So this front grille comes off. So basically what the design of this is, it's almost like two kind of smaller bookshelf speakers side by side. So I think you're going to get a good full sound out of this turntable. And then on the back of the turntable, you've got your connector for your ground. You've got this has a built-in preamp, so you can either use the built-in preamp or use the line feature. So you can do this. You can use this three different ways. You can either use the built-in speakers, you can use non-powered speakers, or powered speakers with this turntable. So that's kind of cool. It gives you a little bit of different options later on down the line if you want to upgrade the sound eventually. And then the thing that I've noticed about a lot of these like mid-grade turntables is a lot of them don't have a pitch adjustment. So that's one big bonus about this turntable, is even if the speed is a little off, which I'll test, if it is a little off, you can kind of correct that here. So you got your pitch adjustment, and then you got your power input. And then on the top of the turntable, you've got your volume knob here. That's also your power button. You've got your LP button, and then this is also Bluetooth. So you can put on Bluetooth and play music from your phone through the speakers. Like I said, I think this is going to have, what I'm seeing so far, I think this is going to have a pretty good sound. So you can use your phone or a different device to use Bluetooth with the turntable here. And then this has 45 and then 33. I don't know what the middle button is. It looks like it has looks like 2. I don't know what the 2 is in the middle. I'm assuming maybe an off button. And then this does, like I said, this does have an adjustable counterweight, which is a little bit different than adjustable counterweights on other turntables. This one just slides on, where other ones, I kind of like this way. I kind of like the way this is designed a little bit better than other turntables, because other turntables have so you'll put it on and then you twist it until you get to the correct number. But after moving the turntable around, sometimes it can kind of come, and that can move a little bit. And then you've got to completely go through the process of reweighing everything and kind of dialing it back in. Where this just kind of slides on, as you can see, the hole is offset. So it should slide on there, kind of hang, and kind of stay in position. So this has a Audio-Technica 3600L stylus on here. So 2.5 grams is a good weight for that. So I'm going to just slide it on the back here and then just slide this up to 2.5 grams. All right, so now that we got the platter on, I got this thing all plugged in. We're going to unwrap the tone arm here, and then I'll play something, and I'll kind of give you my idea of what I think the sound is for this turntable. So the tone arm itself is actually pretty nice. This actually comes wrapped with some kind of looks like a cable tie on here. That's a new one for a turntable. Typically they just have like the cheap twist ties. Even my Fluence came with a twist tie on the tone arm. So like I said, that kind of goes into the overall quality of the packaging that you're getting on this turntable. The tone arm itself isn't all that heavy. It feels like aluminum. Like I said, 3600L, that's a pretty standard, I would call like a good mid-level cartridge on a turntable. You're going to get a good consistent sound out of that. So that's kind of like the base model that I would go with any turntable. If you see like one of those red cartridges on a turntable, stay away from that. That's not going to be you're not going to get a good sound quality out of that. The one thing I will say real quick is this, the sticker here, I kind of wish this would come off. It looks like it doesn't peel off all that well, but I love the overall presentation and the nice professional looking style that this turntable has. I love the metal plate here. Like I said, just with taking that sticker off, I think would have a better overall look. I get why it's on there because it's explaining all the functions of the turntable, but so far I'm loving the way this thing looks. All right, so I got my turntable scale here, and I picked this thing up. This is like $10 off of Amazon, but it's a great tool to have just to kind of help dial in the weight of the tone arm here. Like I said, I've got the tone arm set to 2.5 grams. We'll see how accurate that is. It would help if I took the cover off of the stylus. All right, so it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but I've got the tone arm, the counterbalance set at 2.5. It's actually weighing in at 2.36, so it's a little bit off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this real quick here, and we'll see if we can get it right at 2.5. I think it's about the closest we're going to get it. It's actually 2.49. It's kind of going back and forth between 2.49 and 2.5, so I'm probably not going to get really any closer than that. Yeah, so I think there we go, right at 2.5. So I think I got this thing dialed in. We'll check and see how the speed is of this turntable. All right, so I'm going to use my handy little RPM app. And this isn't going to be exact, but it's going to give you at least an idea of how well this thing, how well it spins, the consistency of the speed of it. So I'm going to set this at 33. And we're just going to turn this on. Give it a second. We'll see how close to 33 1/3 that it spins. Now let's not save it. So we end up being 32.48. So it's spinning a little slow. So this is where I'll use that adjustment knob on the back of it, and I'll see if I can get this thing tuned in. We'll see how close to 33 1/3 we can get on this. All right, so it took a little bit to get it adjusted, but now, as you can see, it's at a perfect 33 1/3. So that's one great thing I like about this turntable so far, is that you've got that ability to kind of really dial in the speed on this turntable. So because of copyright laws, I can't actually play anything on the channel here, but I'm going to toss on this new pressing of Headless Cross by Black Sabbath and see how this thing sounds. I did notice right away that the platter is a little undersized, so you've got probably a good, I don't know, maybe almost 1/4 of an inch overhang on each side of the album. So it kind of gives you a little bit of area or surface area to grab the album by. So that's kind of a nice little touch there also. Alright, so I turned that thing up as loud as it would go, just to kind of see how good of a job it would do filling the space down here in my basement. And it does a really good job. I walked over to the other side, just kind of see how the sound did. But, you know, it really filled the space down here pretty nice. And that's one thing I can say about a turntable like this is if you've got a smaller or mid-sized space, I think this is really all you need. It did a really good job. Like I said, I turned up as loud as I would go to kind of see if I would get any kind of sound variation or anything like that. And it sounds great. I'm going to try something with a little bit more bass to it and see how it does with a little more of a bassy kind of album. All right, so I'll do the same thing with this album, Chronic by Dr. Dre. Should be enough bass in here to get a good test out of this one. All right, so it does sound good. The bass in it isn't great, but then again, when you're dealing with a smaller all-in-one turntable like that, I kind of expect that. It's not going to sound like my Fluence or anything like that. It does sound good. I will say that I'll kind of say it again. If you got like a smaller or mid-sized space, I think this is a really good turntable. You're going to get, it's got good quality to it. It looks nice. And it kind of, and like I said, it kind of fills the space down here. So overall, I think this is a really good quality all-in-one turntable. It sounds good. Like I said, the bass is a little light for me. I'd like to have a little more bass to it, but I think for a vast majority of people, this is going to be a good quality turntable for them. You know, you're not going to break the bank with it. You know, I think it's like, if you go on Amazon, I want to say it's like $280 or so, which, you know, is right in line with a lot of other mid-grade turntables. If you're looking to upgrade from like a suitcase player or something like that, I think this is going to be a good route for you to go. Like I said, especially if you got a smaller space, if you live in an apartment, you know, if you're trying to fill a bigger space with this, it might be a little light for you, but you know, I think this is going to be a good pick for a lot of people out there. Like I said, the base is a little light. The only big issue I have with this, and this is probably going to be a big issue for a lot of people, is this dust cover. I understand, so I'll put it on here and show you what this looks like. It does a good job of covering the tone arm and covering the platter, but there's still a lot of real estate on this turntable where dust can kind of fall and collect. I would have rather seen a more traditional dust cover on here to better protect the top of this. What I will do with this, and what I do with my other turntables also, you can see I got my Fluence over my shoulder here, right about there, is I typically just take a bandana and lay a bandana across there. So it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker for me for this. But I think in this price range, you can get other turntables of similar quality with a better, that have a more traditional dust cover on them. And like I said earlier, I think it's a pretty cool added little bonus that they put in this block here. So what this does is the dust cover sets in the back slot on this. And then you can take your album and set your rest of your album in there. And it even says enjoying now across the front. So it's kind of like it's a take on the now spinning or now playing. It just says enjoying now. It's kind of a cool little added bonus that you're getting in this turntable. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Make sure you drop me a comment down below. I'd love to know what you guys think of this turntable. Do you guys have a turntable like this, an all-in-one style player? They're becoming more popular. I'm seeing more and more of them pop up over the last year or so. And so far, I've been pretty impressed with the quality of these. I think this is the third all-in-one that I've reviewed on the channel here. And all three of them have sounded great. I will say the bass is the one thing that kind of has separated the three that I've checked out so far. And this was probably the lighter bass-wise of the three, but it still has a really good sound quality. I think for a vast majority of people, this turntable here is going to work for you. Like I said, if you're getting into the hobby or looking to upgrade from a Victrola or a Crosley or something like that, I think this is a good route to go. But let me know what you guys think. Also, if you go down in the episode description, I'll put all the links for their website and their Amazon page and all that stuff to go check out if you're interested in grabbing one of these. But let me know what you guys think. Like always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. That's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.